Lamar Jackson gets the franchise tag, the non-exclusive franchise tag, and that has kind of set the bar now that Lamar is likely on the move. Yes, there is the option for the Ravens to potentially work out a long-term deal, get an extension with Lamar Jackson, but all the tea leaves have been pointing towards this being the ultimate move that works for both parties. The exclusive franchise tag only works for the Ravens. Yes, it would have paid Lamar the average of the top five salaries from last year. That would have been around $45 million, $45 million. But now, with this move, putting the non-exclusive franchise tag on Lamar Jackson, that salary drops down to about 32.4, but it opens up the window for Lamar to go negotiate a contract elsewhere. Essentially, this is the Ravens allowing Lamar Jackson to call his bluff. You think you could go get that fully guaranteed contract? You think you could go get Deshaun Watson money, if not more? Fine, go find it. Go find it. And do I hope he finds it. I hope he finds it. I think he finds it. And I think the news in regards to what has happened with Lamar, whether it's, the four-letter network pushing their agendas, pushing their narratives, embracing debate just to get clicks and retweets, or whether it's just the numerous reports that are all coming from the Baltimore Ravens side and not the Lamar Jackson side, because he doesn't have an agent. He doesn't have a manager that has ties to media. He's, keeping everything encapsulated within his camp. So your blue check boys and girls didn't know what to really speculate about when it came to Lamar Jackson. So they just had to sit and wait or just go off everything that the Baltimore Ravens are feeding them. And please believe they were feeding them. From the narrative of what it was that it was offered to him, 133 guaranteed. Then the number was 160. Then the number was Kyler Murray money, which was like 189.5. The numbers have been all over the place from the Ravens' point of view in terms of what they have offered Lamar and what he has turned down. What hasn't been founded, what hasn't been reported accurately, is what does Lamar Jackson actually want? Now, with him being able to go out there and test the market, kind of a soft free agency, a restricted free agency. This is restricted free agency. He can go out and test the market. He can go to other teams and have visits, have his people, his representatives, because he still does have that. The narrative is that, he doesn't have an agent. He doesn't have no one in his corner. He's got plenty of people in his corner, including the NFLPA, who is very interested in seeing how this Lamar thing goes. Because they want Lamar to go get the next big fully guaranteed contract, because that might help them in negotiations come the next CBA. Because the NFL is one of the last bastions of not paying their employees fully guaranteed money. Baseball does it, basketball does it, hockey does it. Football is the only one hanging on because the players union has been soft, has been Charmin soft for decades, pretty much my whole lifetime. The players union in the NFL has been soft. So now if they can convince another owner to give fully guaranteed money to a quarterback, now that begins to really get the shift, because now it's not just a one-off. Please believe NFL executives and probably the NFL themselves are hoping that there's not a rogue owner. They're hoping that there's not going to be a front office that is so desperate for some PR that they're going to jump out there and throw boatloads of fully guaranteed money at Lamar Jackson, giving the Ravens no choice but to decline matching it and just getting the 2 first-round picks in return. The league itself is hoping that doesn't happen, because now that's a line in the sand that you draw if you're the players union. That's something you do. If you're able to get a second quarterback to get fully guaranteed money, that's no longer an anomaly. That's no longer an outlier. That's a trend. And you have to capitalize on that trend if you're the NFLPA. This might be one of the few times where they actually have leverage that they could take advantage of come the next CBA. But it's all predicated on Lamar being able to test the market and getting this non-exclusive franchise tag from the Baltimore Ravens. He's now able to test the market. This is huge. This is potentially a landmark move. Now, you can give the Ravens spin of, well, we just get more time to, renegotiate and possibly still work out a long-term extension, which is possible by the letter of what the tag allows you to be able to do. I believe the date is July 17th is now the new cutoff date. Today was the deadline to either place the franchise. Today was the day to place one of the two franchise tags, either exclusive or non-exclusive. Now the next date to watch is, I believe, July 17th. That's the new date to figure out what you're going to do with Lamar. Because they could, Lamar could go out there and try to find a contract. And if he can't find a contract that's suitable to what he wants, then they could just do nothing. And he could just play out this year at $32.4 million. He could just sign the tag at the last minute and just accept the non-exclusive tag and just get paid $32.4 million. But I think both sides win here because Lamar is able to test the market and potentially find an owner who's willing to pay him guaranteed money. And the Ravens, no matter what, you're getting Lamar at a cheaper deal if everything goes to bed. Like if he can't find anyone to give him the money he wants, then he's either going to come back and take whatever watered down deal you've been offering him, which is going to be below market value, or you get him at 32.4, which is the lesser of the two franchise tags. So either way, it's a win. And then ultimately, if he does find a deal that he wants, you get 2 first rounders. It's a win-win for both parties. And that's what I was trying to explain on this stream yesterday. It's like, why would you not allow Lamar to test the market? You've been calling his bluff the entire time. You've been telling him you're not going to get fully guaranteed money, at least not from us. You're not going to get it from us. We're not giving you Deshaun Watson money. We're not even really trying to offer you Kyler Murray money. That's a real thing that happened. So they've been calling his bluff. Now it's a matter of, okay, if that's what's happening, you might as well just let him go test the market. And either he's going to take an L and be humbled, or he's going to get a bag and you're going to get 2 first rounders. Or he's going to be kind of humble because he can't get the contract he thought he was, and he's either going to sign back with you for the low or take the 32.4, which is still less than the 45 you're going to have to pay him with the exclusive. It's a win-win all the way around. Now, there's been a lot of conversations about who might be on the radar in regards to, I think there will be a situation where there's going to be plenty of teams that are going to be circling, right? If you're Lamar, you're open for business, right? Well, there was one team that we thought that's been rumored. There's been sources from your blue check boys and girls that, oh, this team is all in. This team can't wait. And then as soon as the news came down that Lamar's going to get the non-exclusive tag placed on him, therefore he can be a restricted free agent, this is what we get tumbling down the timeline. From Diana Rossini of the 4-Letter Network, the Atlanta Falcons will not be pursuing QB Lamar Jackson per sources. So what is going on with that? And my first response was on the Elon app at the Sam D. Is Arthur Blank scared? Is Arthur Blank scared? Was he so shell-shocked by Michael Vick that in the year 2023, he's still feeling the aftershock of Michael Vick? Is that what's happening here? Because look at how this is going. They were all in on Deshaun Watson last year. Nasty man Deshaun Watson. They were all in. They were offering Watson guaranteed money. The Browns just outbid them. So where have we gone to where Arthur Blank, who has it's an NFL team, a predominantly black team in a polarizingly black city that has a fan base that is predominantly, let me not go that far, that at least is balanced in terms of black and white, and you have had success, tremendous success, in terms of popularity, jersey sales, revenue, all of that when you had a preeminent black quarterback not that long ago. Yes, we know what happened and why that all fell apart. We don't need to rehash that. You then go get the safe pick in Matt Ryan to kind of clean things up. He had a good run, but he was never going to take you over the top. And the one time he did have a chance, he tricked off a 28-3 lead. Now you have a chance. You basically forced Matt Ryan out because you were going all in on Deshaun Watson. Nasty man. Who Dabo Swinney once called the Michael Jordan of the NFL. He had Michael Jordan-like star quality and Q rating quality for the NFL. We saw how that worked. He'll never get that ever again. You were willing to go all in when you had a dude that had all these types of charges and allegations lobbied against him in Deshaun Watson, and you were willing to offer him guaranteed money. But Lamar, you don't want no piece of it? Desmond Ridder, you serious? You have Drake London, Cal Pitts, a plethora of running backs, a solid O-line, and you don't want Lamar in a dome? This isn't Vic, Arthur Blank. This isn't Vic. I know you're shell-shocked. You might have PTSD. That's not what this is. If you were willing to jump out the window and offer guaranteed money to Deshaun Watson, why aren't you willing to do the same with Lamar Jackson? I have no idea. I really am having a hard time understanding why the Falcons are out on Lamar Jackson. There needs to be way more reporting. Like all the blue check boys and girls are saying that the Falcons are out. So clearly everyone is bombarding the Falcons front office like, are you in on Lamar? And they're all jumping out of there. So it could be a lot of things that we're going to figure out here. There's going to be a lot of things to discover. There's going to be a lot of things to pay attention to. But I think in regards to who wants Lamar, it's really going to come down to who has the picks. Because that's one thing that we need to figure out. Because let me go back here. Boom. According to Pro Football Talk, Lamar Jackson can't talk to Miami until after the 2023 draft. At that point, he will be able to negotiate with them and sign an offer sheet. Before that, Miami is off limits because they don't have their first round pick in 2023. Oh, and why don't they have their first round pick in 2023? Your man's Tom Brady and Brian Flores, right? We all remember that, right? Okay. Just want to make sure. So that's a team that's now off the board until after the draft. So that means they can only get a 2024 and a 2025 unless Miami finds a way to get two 2024 picks. Like, that's what we're looking at. So Miami's a team that's been thought of. You know, he's a South Florida kid, so there was a lot of innuendo about Lamar possibly going back home, you know, and maybe playing for the Dolphins, which would have made Tua on the block, and it could have been some discussions there. So now, if that's off the table, well, where else can Lamar go? Well, let me come off the screen here so I can set this up properly. If you're new here, appreciate you chiming in. If you're pulling up, hit that like button. That helps our algorithm figure out that y'all are enjoying this content. I'm giving you breaking news here with the franchise tag being placed on Lamar Jackson, the non-exclusive franchise tag, which someone may have kind of sort of spoke about yesterday here on this very stream, that it works for all parties involved. And yeah, here we are. So who can go get Lamar Jackson? Who do we think now, if the Falcons are out, if the Dolphins can't get involved until after the draft, well, then who can pull up? Who has a QB spot that is in flux, that is in danger, that Lamar can fix right away? Who has the talent that's close? Maybe not a QB away, but certainly can be a QB from being in contention away. You ready? You don't got to go that far, Lamar. You don't have to go that far. Let Arthur Blank be scared. You know who ain't scared? A man trying to sell his team for $7 billion. Daniel Snyder, he's not scared because he's trying to flip that bread. He wants to get all his money on the way out. What better way to secure the value of your franchise than go getting Lamar Jackson, a former MVP from 2019, and having that be the jewel of your franchise, and then telling Bezos, yeah, it was 7, but now we got Lamar. I want $8 billion. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Let the Commanders go out there and go get Lamar. You don't got to move that far. Familiar with the area. Still DMV. Like, there's a lot here. If Atlanta's out, if Arthur Blank is running scared, and if the Dolphins, because of tampering and tanking, don't have a first-round pick so they can't be in the mix until after this upcoming draft, then who does that leave? The Jets have let us all be, they've let us know they want Aaron Rodgers, okay? They let Derek Carr hang out there in the wind. He's tried to spin the block. They were like, nah, we still waiting on A-Rod. All right, I'm going to go to NOLA. So clearly, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, it's a thing. We'll get there next. But in regards to who can actually go get Lamar right now, I think you have to look at the Commanders. Can you imagine, with the weapons they have, Dotson and Scary Terry, with Eric Bieniemy now calling plays, Brian Robinson Jr. in the backfield, the Washington Commanders could be in play, should be in play for Lamar Jackson. This is a real thing. I'm here for it. We'll go to the comments. Let's jump right in. Let's see where we're going to start. Hey, Derpy's in here. What's good, Derpy? Let me make sure I get your comments in order. Let me move your stuff up here. All right, you rather see Lamar in Washington? Hey, I'm here for it, man. I think it's time. Let's make it happen. Let's get it cracking because the Falcons can't do it or won't do it for whatever reason. I think Arthur Blank is scared. And we have the Miami Dolphins, who were thought to be in the mix because of ties to Lamar, because of him being a South Florida kid. They can't be in the mix because of tampering. Okay. That, to me, leans towards the Washington Commanders being in a real good position, especially when they finally jettisoned Carson Wentz. Rivera was very carefully in choosing his words in regards to Sam Howell. Like, yes, he's on the roster, so you can make the assumption that he's default the starter, but nah. Now, if you could get Lamar to pull up, we not doing that. We not doing no Sam Howell. Back to the comments. Derpy was good, man. Oh, no doubt. Yo, those jerseys, especially the black John they had this past season, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Like, I think the jersey sales, wherever, and that's the thing with Lamar that I think is an added dimension that we're not paying attention to, or at least let's be clear, they are not paying attention to, is there's going to be a huge influx in season tickets, jersey sales, PSLs, if that's still a thing. Like, all your revenue in terms of what you can do in and around your team, in and around your building, in and around your franchise, all goes up. Lamar Jackson's a very marketable player. He's a very popular player. He's also polarizing. So everything is going to go. Media, social media, blue check boys, everything's going to get turned up when you bring Lamar in. Everything's turned up. There's people that still think he's a running back that plays quarterback. Like, there's still people that do that. So the minute you bring him in, everything's going to go up. Back to the comments. Derpy. The Jets, I don't see it, man. Like, I think they're all in on Aaron Rodgers. I think if there's the only way that works is if they can somehow fit it in the window, right? Because now they have until July 17th, I believe, this is the Ravens now. The Ravens have until July 17th to work out a long-term deal with Lamar. Now, if they can figure that out in terms of, is this going to work? Can you go find a better deal, yay or nay? The Jets should also be in the mix. You know, the Jets are going all in on Aaron Rodgers. They're flying out. The brain trust of the Jets is allegedly flying out to go meet up with Aaron Rodgers, and that could certainly be a thing. But I think if you're Lamar, I'm not waiting on them. It's if you want Aaron Rodgers that bad, and if he's going to get $58 million. Aaron Rodgers is on the Packers are on the hook 58 M's for Aaron Rodgers. He's doing all of this because he doesn't know if he wants to make $58 million or not. We'll get there. But Lamar in Washington, is it a thing? Let me know in the comments. Derpy, appreciate you. But this is something where I'm very, very excited to see. I mean, the timeline's going to go crazy because the Commanders are a poverty franchise. The Commanders are a poverty franchise. You know, in a former job, I used to have to go to NFL stadiums every week, and I used to detest having to go to FedEx Field, not because of the people that work there, but just because you could feel, well, one, the FedEx Field is a dump, but two, you could feel the energy of the people just being suppressed from whatever's going on up top with ownership, right? So you could just feel the doom and gloom every time I would have to go work at FedEx Field. But if you bring Lamar there, even though that stadium is a dump, that dump will be rocking if Lamar is there. And he's got McLaurin, Dotson, Brian Robinson. Like, I mean, look, this is going to be a fun team if they can pull this off. If they can pull this off, it's a fun team. You're talking about Brian Robinson Jr., they still got Antonio Gibson. I mean, McLaurin and Dotson is a real, I mean, those two receivers alone, those will be the two best receivers Lamar's ever had. He's going from a team that has only one weapon in Mark Andrews to a team that has a plethora of weapons. Washington could be a QB away. Now, I don't know if they're not as talented as Philly, so we're not going to jump out the window and say they could run that division. But in regards to how impactful would Lamar be going to that division, I would say they're better than Dallas right now. Washington goes and finds a way to go get Lamar. They're better than Dallas. And the Giants are going to have to mess around here and pay 40-something million to Daniel Jones. Yes, give me the Washington Commanders. I put them there right there at second place. So that's how important of a move this could be if this comes to fruition. Who else? Because I really try to sit and rack my brain in terms of who also could be a Lamar away that can also pay him, right? Like we're looking at it, and you know what? Let me see if I can move myself out the way so we can see all the teams there. Give me a sec. Unlock. And I'm able to do this because of Eatcam Live. If you want to get a free trial of Eatcam Live to learn how to do some live streaming or presentations, there's a link in the description. So look at what we have here. In terms of these teams, we talked about Washington. We talked about Miami and how they can't do anything until after the draft. We talked about Atlanta and them pulling themselves out of the running. Who else should be in the mix? Now, we can speculate about the 49ers, but I don't think they would do it. Seattle re-up Geno, so that's not a spot. Carolina, now, I don't know if I'm Lamar, if I want to go to Carolina. But, yeah, unless there's a huge overhaul, yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, he would have DJ Moore, so he has that, but then that's the only weapon as of right now. So I don't know if I could trust that. So Carolina, I'm not putting them on that list. Tampa? What a way to move on from Tom Brady. Tampa? Tampa could be something here, you know. Tampa could be something. I'm not. Because again, you got two receivers. You got Evans and Godwin. Like, if I'm Lamar, I think Tampa should be in the mix. I don't know if they will. I don't know if there's been any sufficient reporting. I know Derpy talked about the Colts. If you're Lamar, do you want to go to Indy? What's there? I mean, Pittman is nice. Jonathan Taylor is nice. I don't know. You do stay in the division. No, that's not the same division. You stay in the conference. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would do the Colts. I mean, at this point, what should Lamar prioritize? Because now he's a restricted free agent. So you can go to a team for the bag, just for the bag's sake, or you could go to a team that's going to win and pay you more than what the Ravens were going to pay you. You might not get your $250 guaranteed from the Colts. You might not get your $250 guaranteed from, the Buccaneers. But those two teams might be better on paper than someone like Carolina, who might have the $250 guaranteed and might be willing to pay it to you. So where do you go? The Jets would be so good. I know they're banking all in on Aaron Rodgers, and we might as well just go ahead and slide over to Aaron as well. So let's go. Let me come off the screen for a sec here. Appreciate those who pulled up, even if it's only for a short time and you just didn't want to check in and tap out. I appreciate you. I think we'll go next to Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers, a group of Jets officials are scheduled to fly out today to meet in person with Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Editorial note, things are developing quickly. I mean, okay. Let me move myself back over here. Again, eCam Live, link in the description. So what do we make of the Jets going all in? Now, certainly they have players that are co-signing left and right. We have Sauce Gardner, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I promise you, if you become a Jet, I won't pick you off in practice, and I'll burn the cheesehead, because he famously rocked the cheesehead when they went into Lambeau and beat the Packers this past season. So, we have that, and I think there's one more, right? I think it was Breece Hall. Yeah, Breece Hall. Don't mind me, just manifesting Aaron Rodgers. So, hey, I'll tell you what. If this don't work, how does Zach Wilson feel walking into that locker room? He's got, prominent players on his team openly saying, yo, A-Rod, come pull up. Don't mind who here. Don't mind who here. They on the way out. We want you on the way in. So the Jets' brain trust is on their way to meet up with Aaron. He emerged from the darkness. He emerged from the 300 square foot room that he had a sabbatical in, gone off that ayahuasca, allegedly. So if you're the Jets, I see why you're prioritizing Aaron Rodgers over Lamar Jackson, but I'll tell you this, and I know this puts you in the jam, but I think you have the leverage. There are two QBs that can clearly take the Jets into contention, Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. You're now aware that Lamar Jackson is available via restricted free agency. You now know you have to give up minimum 2 first-round picks and probably other things for Aaron Rodgers. Well, as Lamar, just pay him and 2 first-round picks. There's a July 17th deadline for Lamar Jackson. Aaron Rodgers, you probably want to know you want to know about Aaron Rodgers pretty soon here. Because you want to force Aaron. Make your mind up. Are you going to take the $58 million to stay in Green Bay? Or do you want to come over here to New York? Make your mind up. You're going to get $58 million. You just want it in Green Bay, or you want it in New York? Where do you want the bread? So I think the Jets have a small window of leverage here to be like, look, we could go get Lamar. You want us to wine and dine you, and that's cool, and we'll give you that respect because of who you are, your resume, and your pedigree. But you can't have us hostage. We already missed out on Derek Carr. Now, we really didn't want Derek Carr because we'd rather prefer to have you. But now that we have Lamar, that's a good fall option. We could fall back and go get Lamar. So you can hold us hostage here for weeks and months when Lamar's chilling right there. So I think there's a window here that if you're the Jets, you can really. Now, I don't know if their front office is willing to do it because it is a dangerous game. It's a roll of the dice. You can overplay your hand. And Rodgers can say, well, if you want Lamar so bad, go get him. I'll just stay in Green Bay. It certainly appears to be a relationship that can be built between the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. I just don't know if I'm willing to go all in, because you're doing a move similar to, I would say, the Rams. Again, I'm very clear that this is not Matt Stafford, but the Rams were a QB away. They had everything except the QB. And they went and they mortgaged their future to go get Matt Stafford. And it worked. They got one Super Bowl. And then last year, he went back to being Matt Stafford. And you can argue even during the Super Bowl run, he was still Matt Stafford. But I digress. Aaron Rodgers is still better than Matt Stafford. However, this is an older man. This is a man whose interests have evolved as he's played in the league. Who says that he's going to finish out his contract? Who says that, this window is going to be 2-3 years? It might just be 1 year. Whereas if you go get Lamar, your window is going to be on par with your developing talent. You bring in Aaron Rodgers, you're saying this team is good enough to win next year or the year after. And after that, you're starting all over again with a new QB. Whereas if you go get Lamar, right now for the next 5 years, we good at quarterback, barring injuries. But the same thing can be said for A-Raj. So I think there's a lot there. I think that there's a lot to navigate. But if I'm the Jets, I don't let Aaron Rodgers hold me hostage. Lamar Jackson's there. The Falcons allegedly are out. The Dolphins can't make a move till after the draft. And I think the Commanders could be a spot for him, mainly because Daniel Snyder is trying to get $7 billion for his franchise. And what a way to get $7 billion, to force Bezos and whomever to fork up the cash, then you only offer me 6 point whatever, as that's been reported, allegedly. No. I want 7. Matter of fact, I just got the 2019 MVP. I now want $8 billion because that's the evaluation of the franchise with him as my starting quarterback. $8 billion. And he'll give him the 250. He'll give him the 250 guarantee because he on the way out the door. He not going to pay that check. Bezos and them going to pay that check, allegedly. So why not Daniel Snyder overpay Lamar? He might give Lamar the $300 that I've been screaming for since last year. He might give him the $3. It won't be his money. It won't be his money. I can give him $500 million. Who cares? I ain't paying it. I'm taking my $7-8 billion and I'm gone. This is going to become very interesting. Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson. Are you trying to win a chip for the next 1 to 2 years, or are you trying to open your window for 4 to 5 years? Therein lies the philosophy. Which philosophy are you riding with? Let me know in the comments. Are you riding with the Jets citing for Aaron Rodgers, saying, look, man, we got 1 to 2 years to get this done? Or whatever team goes after Lamar, I'm going to go ahead and jump out the window and say it should be the Washington Commanders based off information we've gotten since Lamar has been franchise tagged. Then, okay, yeah. I think it should be the Washington Commanders because now you have Terry McLaurin, Dotson, 2 good running backs, even though we favor Brian Robinson. And now you got Eric Bieniemy as your OC. Put Lamar in that. Scary hours. Scary hours. All right, come off the screen here. I'm going to surf the timeline real quick just to make sure that we're not missing anything. For those who are still here, thank you, appreciate you. There is a lot to go over. There's a lot of information to keep up with, and I am trying to navigate it here on the fly so I can give y'all the most updated information. Okay, we do have information. Let's go right to it, live and direct. The Panthers are not expected to pursue Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Okay, the Raiders are also unlikely. Who's going to quarterback the Raiders? What's the plan there? Does anyone have any idea what the plan is in Vegas? The Panthers are not expected to pursue Lamar. I think that's more Lamar wasn't going to pull up there anyway, but let's just make it be known we don't want Lamar. So that means they're still open for business on draft day. Hope the Bears are paying attention. The Falcons are saying they're not in on Lamar. That means you should be open for business on draft day. The Panthers are saying they're not going to pursue Lamar Jackson. Okay, that means you're open for business on draft day. So the Bears might low-key, besides the Washington Commanders, if they jump in and end up getting Lamar, the Bears might be the biggest winners today. Because teams that we thought would be all in on a quarterback like Lamar Jackson are now falling back. Does that mean they liked what they saw at the Combine? Is there any quarterback in this upcoming draft? Let me know in the comments. Is there any quarterback in this upcoming draft that you would want right now over Lamar Jackson? Because with the Panthers and the Falcons saying they're out on Lamar, allegedly, then that tells me either A, you think your quarterback is already on the roster, or two, you saw something, whether in the Combine or in the film, studying the film, getting all the scouting stuff together, building a board that you think you can get on draft day. I don't know why the Panthers would think they can just bypass and announce to the world we good on Lamar. That's crazy to me. That is absolutely insane to me. But, it is what it is. We will let them cook, but I think that's a bad move. It's a really bad move for the Falcons. I really don't know what Arthur Blank, I don't know what type of time he's on right now. For the Falcons to say that they're out on Lamar, that's a poverty franchise move. That is a poverty decision made by a poverty franchise. Arthur Blank, if I'm a Falcons fan, y'all were all in on nasty man Deshaun Watson, willing to pay him guaranteed money. And then the Browns just offered him more guaranteed money and he went to Cleveland. If you were all in on giving Deshaun Watson, nasty man, a fully guaranteed contract, why aren't you all in on giving a former NFL MVP a fully guaranteed contract? That's weird, man. That's extremely weird. Salute to those who are pulling up. Hit that like button just to help a brother out, support the stream. Let the algorithm know that we're doing good content over here and we're giving y'all the latest news and notes from the timeline as we surf what's going on. Oh, Daniel Jones got paid. Okay. Daniel Jones got paid. Daniel Jones got his bread. 4 years, $160 million. He got Dak money. Let me run that back for you. Yo, how is dude get? Yo, it's a stick up. They let Daniel Jones get 40 M's? Now, if this is guaranteed, I'ma lose it. If this is guaranteed, this has to be funny money. Derek Carr got 150. Imagine being Derek Carr. You have been better for longer than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, you could argue, had one, I won't even say it was a good year. He had one solid year, and he cashed out. 4 years, 160. Whew. If that money is guaranteed, if I'm Geno, I'm fuming. I know he's older, but if I'm Geno, 3 years, 105, I mean, look, salute to Geno, because the Jets, and then after him for a brief run, the Giants did everything they could to get him up out the league, okay? But 3 years, 105, and Daniel Jones gets 4 years, 160. That is disgusting. Disgusting. So now, does this mean Saquon gets tagged? Is Saquon getting tagged? Yo, if I'm Dak, I am running to Stephen Jones. Excuse me, sir. Danny allegedly Dimes. He just got my money. it's time to renegotiate. Even though I might not actually be that much better than Daniel Jones, but optically, I'm way better than Daniel Jones. So y'all need to run that bread. Y'all need to run that bread. I can't believe that. 4 years, 160. I would love, I'm going to have to come off the screen here so I can look up this money to see if it's guaranteed. Because remember, he wanted more than 45. And that was a thing where I would have went crazy if he would have got that. Okay, we got breaking news on Saquon. He also got the Lamar tag. Giants placed a non-exclusive franchise tag on running back Saquon Barkley. Okay, so now that Daniel Jones got his money, 4 years, 160. Now we got Saquon getting the non-exclusive franchise tag. Okay, I need to find out if this man got $40 million a year guaranteed. I cannot believe it. Let's see. No one has it. No one has the guaranteed money. Yeah, if it's probably gonna be funny money. If it's funny money, then it's okay, because the bottom line is he was asking for $48 million. Daniel Jones. And we talked about if the Ravens would have gave Lamar the exclusive franchise tag, would have been the average salary of the top 5 QBs last year. That would have only been $45 million. Daniel Jones was asking for more money than what Lamar would have gotten with the exclusive franchise tag. He wanted more money than the average salary of the top 5 QBs in the league. Negotiating one-on-one. You go big with your numbers. Your first number has to be big. Your first number has to be big, and then you come down and you settle. That's why I don't know why people are so mad that Lamar allegedly would want more than what Deshaun Watson got. That's what you're supposed to do. That's negotiating. Deshaun got what, 230? Okay, 300. Oh, that's impossible. All right, well, what about 275? What about 250? That's how that works, negotiating 101. All right, let's see if we can find the details of this deal. Daniel Jones. Funny money. Okay, let's go. So, Giants QB Daniel Jones gets his deal, 4 years and $160 million, with $35 million more available in incentives. So, now more is the key word there. So does that mean he's getting $40 million guaranteed and then it's 35 in funny money? That's kind of what it insinuates here. Daniel Jones got $40 million a year? Putrid. I am. Lamar, my man, I know you don't have an agent. I don't think you need one now. This man got $40 million a year. $40 million? Are you kidding me? $40 million a year with 35 mil. That's 200 M's. That's more. No, that's not more than Kyler. More total money than Kyler Murray, but not more guaranteed. This is Lamar's got some thinking to do. How would you do this if you're Lamar? Let me know, because I think this is going to be a fascinating next few months here. It's fascinating. Daniel Jones gets 160 M's. It's looking like that's fully guaranteed. So $40 million a year and then $35 million in funny money on top of it. So just under 200 mil at $195 million total for Daniel Jones, who, you know what, let's go ahead. I don't want to be that guy, but we're going to be that guy today, because I'm mad. I'm sad for Derek Carr. I'm sad for Derek Carr because you went and signed the deal that was in front of you because you didn't want to wait for the Jets. And no one is saying you should wait for the Jets. But the fact that you can't even get Daniel Jones money, Daniel Jones. This is the first year as a starter where he won games, 67 completion percentage, 15 touchdowns throwing, with 5 picks. We know the running game is really where he excelled at, so we understand that. But I'm sorry, man. If this is what 40 M's gets you a year, 40 M's? Yeah, let's go ahead to the running stuff. Advanced passing numbers aren't that great in comparison to other years either. Like, that's where it's a little... here's where he made that money. Right? Durability, he started every game. Well, he missed one game. But in regards to 700 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. So, what do you give you? 3,200 passing yards, 3,200 passing yards. So 4,000 yards, total yards. If we add in the 7 rushing touchdowns, he gave you 22 touchdowns. That's still just not impressive. How is this 40 million? How? How is this 40 million? Daniel Jones? Him? Vanilla Vic? Y'all remember that nonsense they try to run out there? Vanilla Vic. Meanwhile, Arthur Blank in Atlanta is having PTSD of Michael Vick and wants no parts of Lamar. But the Giants are out here paying Vanilla Vic 40 M's. But don't let Lamar ask for fully guaranteed money. That's insane. But 40 million for Danny Dimes, okay, that's cool. Vanilla Vic, yeah, sure, why not? All right, let's go ahead and compare. Let's see, Derek Carr. Do we want to do this to Derek Carr? Because Derek Carr getting 35 M's and Danny Dimes getting 40 just sounds bad to me. All right, big difference in completion percentage. Remember, Daniel Jones is the king of the dump off. So don't get confused by there. QB rating, even though that looks like a big disparity, it's not really. All right, Derek Carr throws a lot of picks, but he throws the ball more. Sacked way less. Good Lord. Yeah, this is just, I feel bad for Derek Carr. Derek Carr might be the biggest loser in all this, to keep it a buck with you. Derek Carr might be the biggest loser. And low-key, the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears might be the biggest winner in all the movement today. And we still don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. We still have no idea. But how can you justify giving Daniel Jones this money? How can you justify it? There are think pieces galore about what Lamar should and shouldn't get. There are think pieces galore about how much Aaron Rodgers has left. Those two have won MVPs. Yet no one is saying anything about this man right here, who was who was on the verge of being considered a bust entering this past season. And now he gets to cash out. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Couldn't be me, bro. Could not be me. All right, let's see what else we can find here as we we'll probably get to wrap it up here, be done by the top of the hour. Let's see. Any new tea? Hey, this is why this show is called Timeline Tea, man. This is why I appreciate y'all for being here. Drop a like if you haven't already. Subbed if you haven't already. But this is what I do. I comb the timeline. I scroll through, see the breaking news, and react to it right away. We were on this stream yesterday trying to confirm what the Ravens were going to do. I, jumped out the window and said it works for all sides if the Ravens give the non-exclusive tag, because no matter what, the Ravens will get something out of the deal. And even if they get Lamar back, it'll be at a lesser rate than it would be. So they're paying him less. And I think it's ultimately a high risk, high reward for Lamar, because either you go out there and you find the owner that's going to give you the money that you think you deserve, or you're going to find a better situation that might pay you similar money to what the Ravens were going to. So I think that's something there. And it's only giving up 2 first-round picks. I think that's a no-brainer. And unfortunately, I do want to touch on this news as the Dolphins can't make any moves on Lamar because they have to wait until after this upcoming draft. But they also might be losing Brian Jones, or at least it looks like, they're going to release Brian Jones. Dolphins are releasing Brian Jones. Jones recently said he can no longer, quote, run or jump, end quote, because of injuries sustained playing in the NFL. editorial note, he might ultimately retire at age 30. So this is what Brian Jones is saying. Much has changed in 8 years. Today, I can't run or jump because of my injury sustained playing this game. Do not take the pills they give you. That's a bar. Do not take the pills they give you. Do not take the injections they give you. If you absolutely must, consult an outside doctor to learn the long-term implications. And then here's the cleanup, and respect to him for spinning the block and adding this to it too. But this right here, this first tweet is bars, okay? Then he got off doing the cleanup. It was an honor and privilege to play in the NFL, but it came at a regrettable cost I did not foresee. Yikes. In my opinion, no amount of professional success or financial gain is worth avoidable chronic pain and disabilities. Yikes. Godspeed to the draft class of 2023. I don't mean to laugh, but that's kind of wild to just throw that in at the end. Like, yo, good, but good luck, though. I can't run or jump. None of this is worth it, no matter how much bread you got. You know, I have chronic pain, the potential disabilities, but good luck, though, to all those who just ran around in their underwear for a few days in Indy and are out there training their asses off for, you know, the draft in a few weeks. Yeah, go ahead, though. Salute. That's wild. That's a wild way to kind of say you're walking away from the game of football. And he was somebody that was of high regard in that backfield. In that secondary for the Dolphins, you know, the Dolphins were thought to have a good defense. And, you know, this here, do not take the pills they give you. Do not take the injections they give you. We know what Patrick Mahomes had to endure just to play in the Super Bowl, just to play in the AFC Championship game. We know what Travis Kelce had to do to make himself available after what? He had back spasms. Lord knows what the Eagles had to do for numerous guys. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you reach that point in the season, everyone's getting shot up. Everyone's popping pills. And here's Brian Jones on his way out, potentially, allegedly, at the age of 30, telling you, do not take the pills they give you. Do not take the injections they give you. Consult an outside doctor to learn the long-term implication. This is what we learned with Tua. Tua was, you know, concussed multiple times, undiagnosed, unofficial concussions, and they kept running him back out there. And even towards the end of the season, when they had to just shut him down because he had to self-report, I'm not well. And it was well into the playoffs where they finally cleared him after not finishing the season. Team doctors, they're not your friends. Team doctors do not have your best thoughts at mind. They're employed by the team. Their check is cut by the team. If that coach really needs you to play, he's going to do whatever he has to do to protect his job and say, yeah, he's good to play. Brian Jones, yeah, he's good. He's good to go back in. Put him in, coach. I cleared him. And then they had to fire the guy that was trying to throw Tua back in there. The NFL did an independent investigation. They had to get that dude up out of there. Like, this is what it is. This is what it is. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for Brian Jones. This here is a very sobering message. We're going crazy about Lamar, Aaron Rodgers. Combine was this past weekend. We're going crazy over D linemen running 4.4s. Like, we're going crazy over all this stuff. And then you have this like reality check, this slap in the face, this sobering moment of, hey, I can't run or jump because of my injuries. I'm 30 years old. I can't run or jump. That's rough, man. That's rough. It's extremely rough. Yeah. I'll try. I don't want to end on that. But stick with me here. We'll finish with this one. So a lot of tea has been coming out about Tom Brady. There were reports after the combine. And again, throughout this whole last week into this week, I've been telling y'all to be careful of all the rumors you're going to be hearing, because everyone and their mama in terms of NFL front offices, executives, trainers, staff, scouting staff, they're all in India and they're all mingling and they're all tossing about tea. And we know how that is. Sometimes it's like a game of telephone. Incorrect information gets passed along, or some people just want to jump out the window and start something just to shake things up, stir the pot, right? So we have Tom Brady might not be, quote, done after all with his playing in the NFL, according to the, with some blue check boy show who talked to people in Indy. Folks are saying, keep an eye on Miami. Well, of course, keep an eye on Miami because he retired on the beach. He was in South Beach. Copped a crib out there, a condo out there. That's where Giselle and the kids are at. And that's where he was tampering to end up last year when he fake retired, which wasn't really retirement. He was just letting the Bucks know, I'm not coming back. I don't want to keep rehashing that story, but I mean, it's just been, the tea leaves have always been there. But Tom Brady's refuting these rumors. Anyone who thinks I have time to come back to the NFL has never adopted a 2-month-old kitten for their daughter. All right, so I hope that's not part of his stand-up. There was rumors of him trying to do stand-up to get his wife back. I hope that's not, I hope he didn't write that. I'm going to hope Tom Brady didn't write that, because that's not going to get you a live special on Netflix, bro. That is not going to do it. That's not going to do it. So Tom Brady, is he coming back? I think he will never not have the itch to want to play. I don't think he wants to do that Fox job, because that Fox job means you're really not coming back. That's why I think he's trying to push that Fox money, even though it's like 325 million, something like that, something crazy like that, 300 plus million from Fox. He's trying to push that as far as he can down the line, because then that means you really can't be playing. You can't play one week and then commentate the game the next. Can't do that. One or the other. So let me take a year off. Go get my family back. Go be a stand-up comedian. Because that does what? It allows him to, if he gets that itch and he wants to scratch it, all right, let me go start working out again. Let me start getting my, my doctor that's not really a doctor. Let me get some of those meds that, makes my career last way longer than others, allegedly. So, that's what I think he's doing here. He's trying to prolong this. I know he filled out the paperwork, but that paperwork could be unfiled. You can always make an amendment to that paperwork. I mean, it's paperwork. So I don't know if Tom Brady is coming back, but I definitely think he wants no parts of that Fox gig until he's good and ready. And he's not ready. He clearly still has that itch. He's trying to navigate, I want my family back. I don't know if he wants Giselle back per se. I don't know if Giselle wants him back. But he certainly is going to try to mend fences with his family as a whole. The whole stand-up comedian thing, that's whatever. But I think this here is just, I just want to keep my options open. If the Jets miss on Aaron Rodgers, they miss on Lamar, maybe I go over to Vegas, Devonta Adams, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, who also got franchise tagged. We know how Brady gets down. If he gets that itch, it's only going to be an itch scratched by a team that's loaded. 49ers, team of his youth. There's a lot of things there. So we will end on that note. Thank you for those who have pulled up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We are building something here. We're getting a lot of momentum. The Tom Brady thing, I think, is much to do about nothing. But if you've missed any of this, you can definitely scroll back. We went in crazy, pause on the Lamar Jackson stuff. It's very fascinating. I think the Washington Commanders, so let's recap. The Washington Commanders are in a position here to potentially go get Lamar Jackson. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds weird. But please believe, after everything that's gone on, because Miami is out the mix, as you see here. Lamar Jackson can't talk to Miami until after the 2023 draft. Okay, and we already got the Falcons saying they are not going to pursue Lamar Jackson. So if we have those two teams already saying we're out, the Panthers also jumped out there and said they're out on Lamar. I mean, I don't know if we ever actually assumed they were in, but they're out on Lamar as well. So I think when it comes down to it, Where should Lamar go? I think Washington has the pieces. If you talk about Terry McLaurin, Dotson, Brian Robinson, and Eric Bieniemy as the play caller, as the OC, that's a huge get. Now we're just talking football, right? Like, so if you're Lamar, the Ravens have never really surrounded you with the weapons that they should have, right? But now I could potentially go negotiate a contract and have a team that has two wide receivers, a running game, and I have one of the best, minds in the game offensively as my OC and play caller, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Bieniemy's going to have a chip on his shoulder with the Commanders. He knows he should be a head coach. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to go and play call his ass off. Like, he's working on plays right now. Like, he might be on Madden right now with Lamar as his QB and just scheming it up. Like, if I'm EB, if I'm Bieniemy, I'm cooking up a whole playbook and sending it to Dan Snyder. Like, yo, go ahead and get it done. I'm ready. I'm already knee deep in the playbook. Like, if I'm EB, I might, hey, look, it's tampering, but we know tampering doesn't happen. But if I'm EB, I might reach out to Lamar on the side, like, hey, I can clean up that Mahomes playbook for you. We could do some more RPOs. We could do some I could bring the shovel passes to Washington. I could bring those. Head straight on down 95 and pull up to DC. We here. So I think the biggest winner in all of this is that the Washington Commanders could be in position. Let me know. Leave me your thoughts on the way out as we wrap this up here, because I really want to know, where do y'all think Lamar's going to go? Does he ultimately end up back in Baltimore? Is Lamar going to find out that he can't really find the money he thought he was going to have out there? Like, is Lamar going to fail? Because if he does come back to Baltimore, he's going to get paid at a lower scale. That's what the non-exclusive tag does. It drops your rate to the top 5 salary to a lesser rate. Top 5 salary would have been $45 million a year. Now that he has the non-exclusive franchise tag, is now down to 32.4. So you're going to get paid less money, but potentially you can go get paid more money somewhere else. And the other half of the Washington thing, Daniel Snyder's trying to sell this team. Allegedly, he wants $7 million, but everyone's been coming in at around $6+ billion. How do you make sure you get your number? If you want $7 billion, how do you get that $7 billion? By trading for the 2019 league MVP. And then you tell Bezos, yesterday's price is not today's price. You told me 6 and change, now it's 8. I was willing to let it go for 7. I was willing. But you flaked. You pump faked. You tried to call my bluff. Now I have Lamar Jackson. It's $8 billion, Bezos. I know you got it, but just to let you know, it's 8 now. Cool story with that 6. Would have given it to you for 7. Now I got Lamar. It's 8. And you know what? I'm going to pay him $300 million guaranteed because I won't be paying him. Oh, man. It's been a good stream. Appreciate those who pulled up. Man, this Lamar thing is fascinating, man. I love it. I'll be right here on these streams. I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm navigating the time. It'll either be a noon one or a 4 o'clock one. I'm liking this 4 o'clock window. More people able to pull up and stay for longer. But yeah. So that will now officially do it for Timeline T. This has been a NFL Franchise Tag edition of Timeline T. I am your host, Sam Duzume Jr., a.k.a. The Sam D. And I will holla at y'all tomorrow, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Hit that like on the way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate all those who are able to pull up, whether you're here for a couple of minutes or if you stay for the whole stream. Appreciate y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.